Hi, welcome to today's video. Last week I had the sad news of telling you that the Tamiya spray paint, spray primer, spray clear coats were all banned in Canada due to issues with the propellant used to apply the product to your models. That was in fact true, and you probably find the shelves running low on product wherever you go currently. We all kind of had a chance to grab some last minute orders of product that was still in the distribution chain, but once that's gone, it's all done. So rather than being just the bringer of bad news, I would like to talk to you about some good news. Let's talk about alternatives, and in this case we're talking about spray primers. Now, we're becoming more and more aware of a product that we have been selling successfully, and we've had excellent feedback on it, and it's from Mr. Hobby, and it's an aqueous surface primer. So it's very similar to their Mr. Surfacer line of primers, which Mr. Surfacer and Tamiya are both lacquer-based products, but the Aqueous Surfacer uses a different solvent in its application, which is much less toxic. Now, I say toxic, I'm talking about smell. You know, anything you aerosol can be toxic because you shouldn't breathe anything but air. So when you're spraying any kind of aerosol, I don't care whether it's aqueous, enamel, lacquer, use proper ventilation, use a spray booth where you can, and use a mask if possible. Use all precautions because you don't want to breathe anything. I can't say that enough times. I've probably repeated it 3 times already. So anyways, when I say less toxic, I'm just talking about smell. I'm talking about the smell that blows the top of your head off. I'm talking about the kind of smell that gives you a headache. And some people are very sensitive to that stuff. They're sensitive to the smell of solvents and solvents-based products. So this gives you a good alternative. We find that it is equally as good as the other primers, but without that crazy smell. So what I am intending to do in this video is show you a little demonstration of the product and how it works, and let you know it's out there and it is a viable alternative to Tamiya spray primers, which just went off the market. So what I'm showing you here in my hand is the Aqueous Surfacer 1000 Gray Primer. And like their Mr. Surfacer line, they also have a coarser primer, which is 500. Think of those numbers as kind of like a grit. So the 500 is coarser, the 1000 is finer. We also have the white Surfacer in a 1000. And for those who like pre-shading, we have a 1000 in black. So, as I'll restate, this is a alcohol type based thinner or solvent, very similar to their aqueous jar paints, which are akin to the Tamiya, the original acrylic jar paints. You can clean them with water, and you can clean them with a Windex and ammonia, but they spray very well when you use an alcohol-based thinner, which is both the companies use for their thinner. If you smell it, you can smell the alcohol. I think we'll find when we spray this paint, we should smell a similar kind of solvent in the air, which isn't wholly unpleasant. The smell of alcohol isn't too objectionable by most people, but it can vary from person to person. I just think this is a better alternative to the lacquer-based in many cases. So we're going to test it out on a couple of applications. We're going to show you the results, and we're going to talk about our findings. I'm also going to spray it here in the store just to see what the lingering effects of the smell are, because when you're in a public setting, you have to be careful what you spray into the air because people have to enjoy their visit to your store, and I'm sure they won't enjoy it if they smell a solvent that's giving them headaches and possibly irritating their nasal passages and lungs. So let's get on with the demonstration, and then we'll talk about the results at the summary at the end. Hey, so I'm in my basement workshop, and I'm in front of my spray booth, and I have a van body set up that I'm going to try out the Mr. Aqueous sprays on. So first thing I'm going to do, of course, is turn on my spray booth. So the fan will take the smell out of the air, I should say the particles out of the air. We should still smell it. I want an idea of what the odor is like on this stuff. So I'm going to try priming this van with my Mr. Aqueous white, and we'll see how it lays off. So my verdict is it laid on very well, very smoothly. The smell in here is very much like an alcohol smell. You don't have that crazy in your lacquer blow up. As always, like I say, I'm using a spray booth, and you can see there was quite a bit of overspray on it. It probably wouldn't have hurt me to have a mask on as well. I would recommend that when you're spraying anything, whether it be airbrush or spray can. You don't really want to breathe anything. I wanted to get a sense of the odor of this stuff, and I probably could have smelled it through my mask anyways, but I wanted the full effect. So it's not odorless, but there isn't that blow the top off your head smell like when you're aerosoling like Tamiya or Mr. Hobby lacquer primers. So I'm going to let this dry and set up, and I'll get back to you and let you know what I think of the dried result. I'm also going to try it on a resin base, one of the resin small scale stuff that we cast ourselves, and we're going to spray that on there as a prime coat, and we're going to see how that turns out, and I will report on that as well. So we'll see you again real soon. So hey there, we're back in the shop. I thought it'd be a little easier to do some of this here in the store than in my workshop, which is kind of dark and small. Anywho, I talked about doing the cast resin base with this product, the Mr. Aqueous primer. Now I thought I could do it in my workshop, sure, with my vent and everything and that, and that's great. That's the way it should be done. But also I like to do things in the store. I like to demonstrate to people my products and things like that. Now to be honest with you, I would never dare spray a Tamiya or Mr. Color lacquer primer or a lacquer paint in the store because the smell just permeates the place, and some people find it really unpleasant. You know, imagine smelling a lot of nail polish or nail polish remover, the acetone-based stuff, for a long time, and it gives people headaches. They don't find it pleasant, and I would get complaints in the store if I use that kind of material in here. So the litmus test, if you will, for this stuff is, can I spray it in my store, a commercial setting? So I'm going to give it a spray. Now it's not open right now, there's nobody in the store, but I'm going to give this a good spray right now and then show you the results, and then I'm going to report back to you what kind of comments I get from customers, if any. So we're going to do a live test in a public setting with this product to see what the results are. So again, give it nice even coats. I did mention this is a cast resin base. I was told by my customers that this product is excellent on things like 3D printed resin. So I imagine I will have equally good results here in the shop with this product. We're not looking for 100% coverage. We're looking for, you know, a good base to paint upon. So I've got a good base on this, and I'm letting it dry. Again, in my experience in the store, there's a very much of an alcohol kind of smell, which is not very unpleasant at all. No more than using a rubbing alcohol product or any kind of anesthetic, say. So that's done. Dissipated pretty quickly. It's not horribly unpleasant. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to show you the results. Stay tuned. So here we see the van body that was primed. It's on our turntable, so you can get a look around all of it. I found that the finish was very smooth, almost like an eggshell in quality. You can also see that any blemishes in the plastic and whatnot showed through. You can see where the cutout is for the sunroof. I did a fingernail test on it, and I found that the primer did not remove from it. So it seems like it has a very good base and a very good tooth. I will show more of this model later when I apply paint and masking tape to it, so I can give you a really good impression of how this product will perform for you. Next, we're going to take a look at the small scale base. And this one I went a little heavy on the primer. It was a blue color, and I tried to go a little heavier on the primer. I was looking for coverage. Now, I've had this issue with the Tamiya primer as well. It's a very thin primer, and it's not really meant to cover. So I had this one on here, and I sprayed it on, probably trying to get more coverage than that. But even in so making that mistake, it did not pool. It self-leveled, and it did get a covering on everything. As you can see, everything is darkened, or I should say whitened, so it has tooth for future color applications. So even when you don't get a nice smooth all white coverage, you still have a prime on your item. So I'd just like to say in summary, I think the Mr. Aqueous could be a worthy substitute for Tamiya Spray Primer. I like what I've seen so far. I will do a follow-up video later where I do some masking and over spraying with other colors and other products. I will try different solvent-based paints, enamels, and acrylics over this, and then I will masking tape them to see if they lift off the primer or lift the primer as well off from the original plastic surface. So that's a video for another day, but my initial impressions are very good of this product. I really love the fact that it doesn't reek and it won't blow your head off with that lacquer smell. So right there, it's a winner. The adhesion seems good, the coverage seems good. Now I'll get to see how it performs as an actual primer when I lay other paint on it. So we look forward to seeing you again on the next video about this topic. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, don't forget, please subscribe, slap that bell, hit that like button, and join Team Hobby Center.